Again, I'm a voyeur, so I love it. I'll watch it. I don't.
It was definitely.
Sideshows that would come in and stuff. Do you still do those?
Or yeah. Like this?
Oh, and the butterflies, before you get on, you're waiting in line.
Certified freak, 7 days a week.
Mirth message right out of the gate.
Really? I don't see that on my screen.
I know, but I see it on the oh, there's Brian. What up, body shoppers? Mosquito here with
Mary Lou.
and
Anne.
then no.
Zoe.
2.2 seconds later.
No.
Zoe, I am noticing something different about your background.
It's a different angle.
And definitely something different in Anne's. Besides being frozen.
It's time.
We got,
Hey, Keith.
there we go. Anne's back. What's up, Keith? We got Merce, Brian, and Keith. And 8 others. Because 8 is enough. And you coming back? There you go. And does that clock behind you work?
Probably.
I mean, at 4 a.m. it does. At 4 o'clock every day.
To me, it says 8 o'clock.
I was starting to think, I'm like, wait a minute, are you in California? But no, you're not.
No, I think my background's reversed.
Oh,
Really?
Mirrored camera.
maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, everything in Zoe's is reading. I can't read anything on her wall.
Here.
Melissa,
inside
we last. What's up?
Hey,
Is
Melissa.
that better?
See, now it just looks weird, right?
Yeah, it's weird.
I changed it. Do you like it better now?
Okay,
Yeah,
now it
8
is 8 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we last.
Thanks for coming on the live stream for us to talk about our mirrored screens.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Melissa, exactly. Yeah. Otherwise, it was 5 minutes to 4. Although Zoe, it's kind of funny. You look exactly like the way it should look if we were looking at you.
Right. But like this way, it seems very eerie. I don't like it.
I'm not going to lie. That is bizarre.
It's
Because I know this. Oh, wait. No, yeah, that's backwards from what it actually is in real life.
it's gross. I don't like it. It's weird.
Zoe's a left-hander.
I am.
Everything's backwards for Zoe.
You can
You know
read
which
my
eye is your
certificate
dominant
of
eye?
unbaptized.
Because that's mine.
See, like that look. I don't like it. It looks different.
I don't know how to switch mine. Hold on.
Here, I'll change yours for you. No, I can't. If you go to settings,
Video.
video, mirror camera.
Hold on.
See, like,
It looks so weird.
I don't
But-
know. Ooh.
But Mary Lou's that way. Hands there. What do you guys think? Which way should we go? Should we flip it and reverse it, or
Flip it and reverse it. Now twerk it.
I gotta go back?
Who, me?
No, me.
Oh.
There we go. All right. Enough of that nonsense. Oh, Melissa liked the reverse. Oh well.
I'm kind of like, I don't know which one I liked, but either way.
Well,
It
now
is what
that
it
way
is.
we can't read your Safer Sex logo.
Yeah, I know. What if I do it this way? There it is.
I'm
That's the way you normally have it, right?
Yeah,
Mary?
that's the way it normally is.
Right now, all 11 people watching are contemplating their lives and like, wait a minute. I chose to spend my Wednesday evening to watch these four fuck around with their cameras. What do you? Either Anna's frozen.
And it's frozen.
Okay.
Because all of a sudden, all I could hear.
I'm gonna save this comment for when Ann comes back on.
Oh, they're back. Oh no, they're gone. Oh my god.
Melissa's like, not much else to do. Hey, listen, I don't mind being your default for the evening. You know what I was gonna say, and I know Ann can hear me, so she can comment when she comes back. So Ann has a wonderful poker face. Like if I had to play poker with Ann, she would probably win. And the reason I say that is, as she was frozen, I couldn't actually tell if she was frozen or not, because that is sometimes like Ann will just stare at you and be completely still. And I don't even know that she's breathing, but she's just looking at you. So it literally took the amount of time it took for Ann to pull herself off of the live stream for me to know that she was actually frozen.
So I'm here. I'm going to try it without my camera to see if that helps with my connection.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
I'm abroad. I am up in New Hampshire, broadcasting from the good old 603.
603 in the house.
Yeah, 603 in the house.
So, what do you got on the agenda for us tonight, Zoe?
Well, I think we should talk about last weekend.
Well, definitely. So, what are your thoughts?
What are my thoughts?
Yeah.
I think that Blue Christmas, actually, I thoroughly enjoyed Blue Christmas because so many people dressed in blue, number one. I was talking to somebody and they literally, every single article of clothing, including their shoes, were blue. And their underwear, which I didn't see. I just took
I was going to say, did you see? Did you see?
I took their word on it.
Right.
Like, who's going to lie about the fact that they are wearing blue underwear?
Mm-hmm. Maybe that was their ploy to get you to be like, well, let me see.
Well, it didn't work.
Maybe they wanted to flash you.
Yeah.
The person I was talking to, I'm pretty sure, did not want to flash me.
Okay.
Pretty sure. Well, I wasn't here for Friday night.
Friday was good. It was Freaky Friday. We had a good old time. Good old time.
Good, good.
Anything of note? Any particular scenes that struck you, either in a bad or good way?
There was a lot of really good scenes in the dungeon. There was a lot of action in the dungeon. And I know some people brought some electrical stuff that they were playing with.
Mm-hmm.
Like from Rambo electrical stuff, like torture devices?
No, like violet wands. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, violent wands and different, things similar to that.
But like, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they had like the cuff thingy that like it goes through them,
Oh, yeah.
Like where you can touch one person and it transfers through you and zaps the other.
Mm-hmm.
Electricity is really interesting that way.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually watching a video about lightning, weirdly enough.
Okay.
And because we have the technology now to take video at higher frame rates, they can capture or have captured how lightning actually develops. And it's actually really fucking interesting. The lightning starts and it sends out tons and tons of leads before it actually hits the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just one of those leads that ends up connecting, and it comes up and they meet. It's pretty fucking interesting.
I've always wanted to see like apparently like if a plane gets struck by lightning, sometimes it can go like in the hall, like the aisle of the plane. Like it can be visible in the aisle of the plane.
Yeah.
That sounds terrifying, but I want to see it.
I don't.
You
do.
don't.
No.
Because if it gets to that point, that means that the whole plane is electrified. And that means that then its interior instruments are going to be a little wet. Which, oddly enough, people are always like, yeah, I don't understand why my flight's delayed. It's like only raining. Well, hello, you're in a metal tube.
Going into lightning.
Yeah, which gets struck by lightning. Actually, I have a friend who is a flight attendant who was sitting in the actual flight attendant seat, and the door got hit by lightning, and it popped their ears.
It what?
It popped their eardrums.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's pretty intense. It's nothing to joke about. But anyway,
That's why they call me Lightning, because I ain't no joke. That's how why Mary Lou calls me Lightning.
oh,
Hey Ray, knock knock.
oh my god.
Knock knock joke. Wait. Okay, so for the 13 people that are watching, give us your best knock knock joke.
Oh my god.
Give me a minute to think on it.
Just randomly.
I got one
throw
for
it
you.
at us.
You start.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Britney Spears.
Motherfucker. Britney Spears who?
Knock knock.
Who's there? What's up, Jason?
Britney Spears.
Hi, Jason.
Britney Spears who?
Oops, I did it again.
You motherfucker.
Oh my god.
Nobody else. Nobody else with
Nobody
a
else?
knock joke. That's all right.
I got yours. I just did not play into it.
That's only because you heard it already.
Mm-hmm. Recycled material.
Exactly.
Hi, Jason.
Hey, Jason.
Hey, so, Ann, you said you're in New Hampshire. What is the weather like there right now? Not that I can't look on Google and find out, but
it's 26 degrees out.
Not bad.
yeah, it's 35 here.
Yeah, it's not
33
or anything. There was like a flurry this morning, but nothing really of substance.
Was it a flurry of activity?
Oh yeah, I guess.
Oh my god.
I'm
So-
helping my mom move, so yeah, we were busy all day.
So what's up? We had a great weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Both nights were awesome. Jason says it's 39 in Canton.
Well, Jason, I think, is in a little bit further west of Canton. I think
Maybe.
he's in like Massillon, maybe?
I don't know.
Even further?
If you're in Massillon, go Massillon Tigers. You guys won the high school football team won their championship. And G's like, how do you know this? Because I was at my parents' on Sunday and they made me watch football.
Made you?
Oddly enough, like they're not football people, but they just assume that because I'm there, they have to watch football. So
Jason says he's up in Uniontown.
oh, okay.
Yeah, and didn't you used to work in Uniontown?
I probably went up there when I worked for DQ.
Yeah.
and Ravana.
Ravenna.
Same thing, Garrettstown. Yeah, oh, I went out to North Lima, and I think we had one in Warren. All over Ohio.
All over Ohio? No.
So we were actually talking about DQ the other day, and about a banishment from DQ and how
Oh.
terrible that would be.
Yes, yes.
Oh, no.
I mean, can you imagine if you were literally banned from DQ, like you couldn't go to DQ?
No.
I guess it's kind of like getting banned from the club. I mean, yeah, you're definitely going to miss it, but I mean, it's not life ending.
You can always find a Dairy King somewhere. If you can't find a queen.
I'll be your Dairy King.
And
I'll give you some meat cream.
Oh,
No,
meat cream?
not meat.
Oh.
Although I guess it is meat cream. Wait, is spooge meat cream?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How would you like some of my meat cream?
Oh my God, we're losing them. Stop it.
Let's see if we can get the other 10 to leave. I'll show you some of my meat cream.
Okay, and on that note,
And like, there'll be one less person on the stream too.
Oh my God. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Okay.
John.
New Hampshire Ann.
New Hampshire.
What's a good?
Oh my
It's
God.
NHA. New Hampshire.
Hi, who are you? I'm New Hampshire Ann.
That sounds a little porny.
A little corny or porny?
P with a P.
Porny.
Porny.
Alexis, Texas, New Hampshire, and
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Are you
Patty,
Puerto,
Pennsylvania. I don't know.
are you Puerto Rican Mary Lou?
Oh. What are you?
I'm just G.
Georgia G.
Georgia G.
Why do I gotta be Georgia G? Can I just be OG?
You're not Greek G. You're Italian.
I'm gonna beg to differ. I might be Greek G.
Greek G.
What's up, Shane?
Hey.
No idea.
Oh my God.
So every time Shane pops on and says something, the little icon reminds me of a Shane that I know from Cleveland, who worked at a bar that I used to frequent. And that picture looks exactly like him. Now, granted, it's a little teeny tiny picture, and on your phone, it's even smaller, but on my bigger screen. So like the very first time Shane ever came on, because I didn't know what Shane's last name was, I thought, like, they said hi, and I thought, holy shit, Shane from Cleveland's on the live stream.
Not.
This was some time ago, though,
Yeah.
truth be told.
So let's see. Jason's asking if everyone's ready for Christmas yet. And it's like, no.
I'm ready for spring.
Yeah.
Yeah, not even close to being ready for Christmas. No, not at all.
Nope.
Well,
Italiano, Jessamino. Well, and John Gaz goes to Dairy Queen every 3 weeks or so.
in Cranberry
Yeah.
for lunch?
Yeah. Hola, ¿cómo está? Estamos bien, Ronnie. ¿Cómo tú estás?
Ronnie,
Ronnie's in the house.
I was just thinking about you today, and not in the weird way.
Isn't that
He
the only?
lies, Ronnie. He thought of you in the weird way too.
Yeah. Was that you? Were you the one that set off the ring alarm, Shane? Oh my God, Ronnie. Yes. But
Yeah,
he's
next Well, a week from tomorrow, Ronnie's going to be back in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
He's
Yeah.
doing a secret squirrel mission to Pittsburgh.
Not very secret if you're talking about it online.
I mean, that's a good point.
Yeah. But the squirrels don't know, so it's still a secret squirrel.
Yeah, squirrels
Yes.
don't have a clue what's going on.
Oh my god. In the meantime, Ronnie, Buddy's keeping your room guarded, making sure no one goes in
Yeah.
there. So you're all set.
Yeah. And no, I have not had sex in that bed 3 times since you've been gone.
Oddly specific number.
I know. Actually, I'm counting in my head. I'm going, 3?
Ronnie. Why gerbils?
Right.
I mean, besides, for me. Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Zoe, I thought of a new one to put on our not allowed kink list. Gerbils.
Gerbils are not allowed in the building.
Yeah, there are no CNC scenes with animals.
Yeah.
What's up, Ricky?
No,
Hey,
no
Ricky.
animal play in the physical sense, not so much the mental sense.
Yeah, we do. We actually, well, that's a good point. We actually have had plenty of people at the club do puppy play type stuff.
A small PSA though, if you are doing pet play, don't leave your treats around the club.
And no shitting and pissing in the house.
Yes.
No, you got to go outside for that.
And
No, you can't go outside for that either. You have to use the bathroom.
Oh
I don't want to walk out in the parking lot and see somebody pinching a loaf in the middle of the parking lot.
That would be awful.
You can also not stick your head out of any of the cars that are in the back.
Oh my god. Okay.
Wait.
Ask
Speaking of
before
that,
you sniff.
has anybody stuck their head out of the car while it's moving?
Yes.
Oh, always.
Smiling?
Yeah.
You know what really hurts though? Have you ever stuck your head out of the car window when it's raining outside and you're on the highway?
Oh, you get pelted.
It feels like needles going through your skin.
And
On a motorcycle.
yeah.
It hurts.
Jason says they have pet play at Exotica this year. Did you participate? That's the real question.
Yeah.
Were you part of the puppy play?
The puppy pile.
Right, Shane, exactly.
No.
Well, so that's a great question about puppy play. Like, what is the actual... Like, I think I understand most kinks, so to speak. That's just one that I've not wrapped my head around. Even those that play, that do little play, I can wrap my head around. The puppy play, like the animal play stuff, I just don't. I'm not. I just don't understand it. That's all.
Okay.
If anybody would like to illuminate, I'd love to. Zoe.
Well, I mean, it's about role playing to begin with.
True.
And having someone be your handler, so it's still kind of a dom sub type of
I guess
interaction to some degree.
I can even understand like pony play because you're riding the person.
Yeah.
But what does the puppy play do?
It's an escape from reality.
Okay, I'll buy that. Okay.
Therapeutic for some people, in the same sense.
I think it also just is it's just a different form of a dom sub relationship because you think of the aspects of puppy play, right? Like you're kneeling to eat out of a bowl. You are constantly at their feet. You are kneeling to drink water. You're like on the ground on your hands and knees.
Yeah.
There's the ideology behind it too is like, dogs are like man's best friend and show loyalty and stuff like that,
Mm.
which also just kind of feeds into a dom subish relationship in a certain
Right.
regard.
Yeah. Totally.
What's up, Don Watson? Long time no see.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Welcome back. I feel like we're getting back some of our winter crowd. Like during the summer, they were busy, and now it's like
We're
it's
back.
dark at 5 o'clock, and they're like, "Fuck, I need to be in the
Mhm.
house." It's like when you were kids, they had to be on when the streetlights came on.
Mhm. I think another thing with puppy play too is like you could be so expressive and yet not say anything.
Like shitting and pissing everywhere.
No. But in the sense of like when you think of puppies or you think of, dogs, how they communicate.
Sniffing each other's butts.
It's communal.
I guess if you're a butt sniffer, I could see you wanting to be doing puppy play.
It's, it's more than that.
Obviously.
But yeah.
But so here's a serious question about that as it relates to puppy play.
Mhm.
Do all people who do puppy play, do they sniff butts?
It depends on their dynamic. I
Yeah.
mean,
Their boundaries,
yeah.
Okay.
all about that EPP.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I mean, and that could exactly be something about the play scene where it's like, hey, what are you doing? You sniffing butts? Get that newspaper out?
Be respectful. Stop sniffing butts.
Yeah. I don't know. Everyone has their own dynamic. The
Yeah.
whole thing again, it's another format of role play, self-expression, total, dom sub styled relationships. So yeah.
I don't really have experience in pet play, so I don't know the validity of what I am saying. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just a different form of dom sub play at its core.
I
Yeah.
can buy that.
It's just more physical in its appearance, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like,
Makes sense. So, speaking of Dom sub, Zoe, you were talking about a Reddit post earlier today
mhm.
that I don't know. Do you have it pulled up?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can read it and then we can talk about it. It's actually more in the realms of communication.
Yeah. So the title of this Reddit post, it comes from r/BDSM advice from user Stargazing Kai. The title is I said the safe word for the first time and I need an opinion. And this is the post. A couple weeks ago, me and my partner were having some pretty rough sex with me being sub, and things got a bit out of hand to a point of me using the safe word for the first time. And I ended up having a literal breakdown and couldn't calm down for like an hour. He was good with aftercare and did everything he could to calm me down / comfort me. It's just that I've never experienced something like this before. That hour felt so freaking horrible and scary and just overall bad. Is it supposed to be like that, or is it just a badly planned session? To be honest, this wasn't even planned, and maybe that's why it ended like this at the first place. He said that he'll make a better job checking up on me more during the process in the future so it doesn't happen again. But is there something I can do as well?
So, I mean, some of the answers are pretty obvious.
Mm-hmm.
But for those of you who have never experienced BDSM or Dom sub relationship, generally speaking, all of those things that would happen in what would typically be called a session would be pre-negotiated up front or discussed up front.
Right.
The reason for the safe word is that sometimes when first of all, sometimes even though you've negotiated things up front, the experience ends up being completely different than what you anticipated, especially if it's something you've not experienced before. You may think you want something to happen, but then when that thing happens, you're like, oh, fuck.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay.
And actually, in that vein, have any of you been in that situation where you agreed to something up front? Doesn't even have to be BDSM or kink related, but in that realm, in the sexual realm, in the realm of sexuality, have you been in a situation that you agreed to and then in the middle of it been like, oh, fuck? Mary Lou?
Yeah. Yeah, I have.
Well, how do you, how would that typically be handled? And
Um,
do you want to discuss what it actually was?
um, not specifics per se, but it definitely was just something that it went a little further than what I anticipated. So yes, it was a, I'm not into this. We need to stop. Um, became emotional and kind of like how Shane says, so sometimes when you fall into what people term as being subspace, there's this aspect of a feeling like a failure or because you used your safe word, like you couldn't handle what they were dishing out.
Hmm.
So it can become very emotional for some people. What about you, Zoe?
I've definitely had experiences, especially in ones where like I'm first time trying it, where like I've had to say word. One of the prominent ones I think was the first time I ever tried like breath play in terms of choking. That was like a huge one. But like we obviously had a discussion that like this was going to be completely new for both of us. So we knew that eventually one of like either one of us was going to say word, whether that be the dom or the sub in the relationship. But like just going in with the expectation that there's most likely going to be a safe word and it's going to be like trying to keep that communication as open as possible and going in with that expectation of like, yeah, you're probably going to safe word and that's completely fine, even if it's whether that be a minute thing or a major thing that causes you to safe word, but it's just better communication during first time experiences.
So I want to circle back to that, but I want to address really quick. Summer Morgan asked her actually a really good question, which is more powerful, the word stop or a specific safe word? I think that's a great question. I'd like to hear one of the others' opinions on that before I render my own.
I think a safe word for me is more powerful. Simply because, and we have actually seen this within the club space, where sometimes people will say stop, and that's not exactly what they mean. It's kind of like part of the role play that goes along with it. So when other people hear the word stop, they became alarmed and like, "Oh my god, what's going on?" And then the person was like, "Oh no, 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 that's just part of how we play." Like, "Oh, stop, don't do, this, that, whatever.
Don't stop. Don't
Don't
stop.
stop,
Don't
don't
stop.
stop,
Don't
don't
stop.
stop, don't stop." Exactly.
That's Mary Lou.
So yeah, having a specific word I think is more powerful, because you have a definitive understanding of what that means to both of you. You know?
Amy's safe word apparently is Zaza Gabor.
Oh.
So Summer says that they are very little if they say literal. If they
Mhm.
say stop, they mean stop. Now, I would.
Yeah.
So this has actually been a debate.
Yeah.
A debate sort of internally in the community with different people,
Mhm.
and I think it depends. And the reason I think it depends is, I think for the two individuals or potentially the people that are involved, because it could be more than two, if the safe word has been negotiated up front, then I think the safe word is more powerful. That said, I think the word stop is equally powerful or more powerful in a more communal sense, meaning if there are other people within earshot, and you actually said it, Mary Lou,
Yeah.
in that scenario, when somebody says the word stop, everybody else becomes heightened and aware of the situation and therefore potentially could intervene.
Mm-hmm.
That's a much longer way to say that probably both,
Yeah.
using both, certainly the expectation should be if either one of those are used that everything stops.
Mm-hmm.
But a safe word and then a stop if the safe word is not honored,
Mm-hmm.
Could potentially bring in others. Now, assuming you're in an environment where there are other people around.
Right.
I think my opinion on it is more like if you are going in knowing that you're going to be doing CNC stuff, I think stop would be a bad safe word for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I think also some people might just say stop as a reflex when, they are subbing or experiencing any sort of impact play. It may be a reflex.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's just all about how well you know your body, especially if you're subbing in that scenario. I think stop should be respected if you aren't, if it wasn't previously negotiated that you were doing CNC.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a safe word definitely helps, especially with those who may say stop as a reflex in impact play.
Yeah.
We'll come back to Rebecca's comment because those are. We'll talk about CNC play because that's a whole different animal to begin with. But New Hampshire, Ann, what's your take on this?
I am not that deep into kink to really have any personal experience with a safe word. However, I do enjoy that, like, at the club when we have some of our more kinkier members will be like, no worries, this is the safe word, and let us know what it is. And then, it's something I can keep an ear out for in addition to the common sounds of distress,
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely, being in this environment, in a professional environment where people are experiencing multiple different types of scenes and play and scenarios and that, it's sometimes a lot to take in and pay attention to. But going back to Rebecca's comment, so their comment was during CNC play, it's common to say stop or please don't, meaning that in those types of scenarios, you'll hear those words being said and apparently not being honored because it's a part of the scene.
Right.
For those that don't understand what CNC is, it's a consensual, non-consensual scene, meaning that during that scene, the appearance would be that it's a non-consensual act.
Yeah, so basically acting out a situation that would appear non-consensual but is consensual due to pre-negotiated terms and conditions.
Right.
Agreed. Very much so. So yeah, I mean, and that's a good point, Ann, you were saying earlier, in the aspect of being at the club, it's super important. Actually, it's of the utmost importance to let one of the, safer space monitors, a supervisor, a staff member know that type of scene is going to be happening and what the safe word is.
Right.
And I wouldn't say you have to give a bunch of detail, but at least give some detail about what the scene would entail.
Right.
So that, if we see something that doesn't fit with what was described, we can and then would intervene.
Right.
Yes.
So yeah, these are great comments, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Summer
participating.
says that they're afraid to date someone new and have sex one time, and they go about things without you discussing it. So I guess I'm afraid that for the first time with someone new. If you're with someone new and they do things that you haven't pre-discussed, get out, because that's, that's not the right situation.
Right.
Because even all kinksters should want to have an in-depth conversation before venturing into a kink. It's not going to be like, as your pants are coming off type of situation,
Right.
because that's not someone who's looking for consensual interaction.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Alexandra?
Hey.
Well, those, so this is really great because this can open up a ton of conversations.
Yeah.
Yes, agreed, Alexandra. Consent is sexy. But far too many times people get involved in scenes, whether it's traditional sex or, what would be, like sex. And I'm not so sure Summer said having sex one time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they necessarily meant kinky sex or BDSM,
Right.
but absolutely, if you're going to get involved in any sort of sexual relations with somebody new for the first time, there has to be a discussion up front.
Oh yeah.
Which actually is a great segue into, how to have some of those conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And, Zoe brought up a good point earlier about what happens, in mid coitus or mid sex, so to speak. And you're either just not feeling it or something has shifted or changed or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Zoe, you had some thoughts on that. We were talking earlier.
About like talking about like mid-scene shit, like negotiation. Yeah, so under that Reddit post there was some like questions that some of like the different Reddit users were commenting on it, and a lot of these questions I think were really good ones. So Love and Lusting responded back and asked, they said, it seems like at least a few things went really right. You felt comfortable and empowered enough to say your safe word. Your dom focused on aftercare and comforting you, and your dom made a commitment to check in with you more often in future scenes. Do you trust them to do so? It's not supposed to be like anything in kink. Sometimes in kink we get ahead of our skis. Sometimes our doms are really not being careful enough or straight up violate our stated boundaries. Or sometimes we just hit on random triggers that no one could have predicted ahead of time, even if we negotiated our scene with the utmost detail. Hard to know what happened with you without any specifics of how things got out of hand for you. So, was it badly planned? Is there something you can do in the future? Depends on what sent you over the edge. Was it a trigger that you could have easily predicted would trigger you that you didn't disclose as you were getting into your kinky dynamic? Was it something that is really taboo that your dom was completely out of line for bringing into the play without checking in with you first? Or did you have really clear, visible signs of distress that he ignored and kept going? Was it just something random that neither of you could have predicted?
So you said something that triggered a thought for me.
Yeah.
Nonverbal communication.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a thing?
Nonverbal communication can be a thing as long as there's explicit prior consent beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
You still need verbal communication to get consent, but if there is explicit prior permission beforehand talking about nonverbal consent, I think nonverbal consent is still valid.
Well, I'm not talking about nonverbal consent. What I'm talking about specifically is, and Alexandra says body language.
Mm-hmm.
Far too often, people say or suggest that they use visual or social cues to try and communicate their intentions.
Mm-hmm.
And they make a lot of assumptions about those cues because they're assuming that those cues are understood. And here's the actual truth. It is possible for somebody to pick up on a social cue or a body language. It is possible. But the reality is that those are your cues and those are your signals, and only you fully understand them.
Yes.
And if they're not verbalized, it is ridiculous to assume that the other person understands exactly what you're trying to communicate non-verbally.
Right.
Especially in the middle of a scene or having sex or anything, unless it's a long-term partner who knows you well enough and knows what your cues
Mhm.
are and knows what your sick body language is. Like Mary Lou and I can know in an instant, frustrating as it is, when Mary Lou, or at least the appearance of Mary Lou, is not enjoying something or something has changed for her.
Mhm.
Something that we both are working on is our verbal communication in those instances when you're getting in your head, or maybe your back hurts, or you're getting a leg cramp, or you're just fucking tired, or you got to pee.
Yeah. Well, as Amy says, you got to be intuitive. You got to pay attention to people's reactions. And you always have to feel how much is okay. You know, like you noted, for me, sometimes it's just a tweak in my back or something. And I might make that facial expression of like, ugh," and you're kind of like caught off guard because you're like, okay, did I do something wrong? Was it me? Was I being too forceful? Thrusting
Well,
too
yes.
hard or whatever.
And and you just made all of the points.
Right.
Those were 3 different thoughts about one nonverbal communication, and all
Mhm.
of those would be a guess.
Right.
So,
Because it was literally a dildo stuck behind my back. No.
but the reality is that we get in our heads about the communication. Like, I'll speak for myself. We don't say the things typically because we're afraid of what the other person's reaction is going to be.
Yeah.
Like, is it going to be a bad reaction? Are they going to be angry? Are they going to be upset? Are they going to be disappointed? So we try to ebb or save the situation.
Right.
Never mind that you're not enjoying it yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm guilty of doing it. So this isn't a judgment on anybody who has done that or does do that. I have absolutely done that.
Yeah, it's very difficult to have verbal communication when there's a gag in your mouth.
I would agree with that.
So in those situations and in those type of scenes, yeah, you do have to have a little extra communication in the beginning, or even, hey, sign language. I'm tapping out. You know, some
Tina,
I had a member
Tina,
use a cloth in their hand as their safe word, and when they drop it, you're
yeah,
done. Yeah.
I've seen that.
Tina made a very good comment. They said, as a sub, they've experienced wanting to push their boundaries as far as they can to please their dom, and at the same time finding that they had gone beyond their own boundaries in the heat of the moment and then needed to use the safe word. It can be an emotional ride. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think good point to that is that a safe word, the use of a safe word does not automatically mean that the dom or that something is going wrong. It just means whatever is happening has to stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's it. And I think a lot of people get confused about that, especially people that don't have experience in BDSM or don't understand those things.
mm-hmm.
They think, oh, if the safe word is being used and there's something wrong or something bad is happening.
Yeah. Or you have the people that think that their whole goal is to get that person to use their safe word.
I mean, that's
over pushing the limits, and again, based on whatever the dynamic may be with the dom and sub, that might be the case. But that shouldn't be your ultimate goal.
Yeah. Well, and Shane and both Amy both have commented, basically it's about communication. Amy says, I casually ask, which is important.
Yeah.
I have a friend who talks about breaking through or breaking the fourth wall. And sometimes doing check-ins like that can do that. Mary Lou and I have specifically talked about that, where at the beginning of our relationship or the early parts of our relationship, we were experiencing or exploring different kinks and BDSM and stuff like that. There can be, if you're feeling uncertain about something, there could be multiple check-ins. Well, for me, at times it was like, okay, it's too much. I will say something if there's an issue. And your Dom has to trust the sub that they're going to communicate their boundaries, and the sub has to trust the Dom that they're also going to communicate their boundaries and their acknowledgement of the the safe word.
Right. But like for me, as an example, if I'm playing out a scene where the other person is masked or their face is away from me, that in the sense that I can't literally see their face, it causes me more anxiety sometimes, as in what it is that I'm doing, because I can't have that like visual check-in to see their facial expressions. So that's why I need to have that conversation of what is or isn't going to be used for communication purposes, and to let me know, okay, it's all good. So it's again back to communication.
Say the words, right?
Yeah.
Say the words. I come every time.
I mean, that's so Zoe. That's a good point. And Zoe, actually, we how do I want to say this? We talk about communication a lot here internally at the club with the staff, and not because of sex. Now, we're not having a big orgy here at the club, but in everyday communication, things can get lost in translation. Yeah. Words are said or looks are given or whatever, and we can get in our own heads about that. So we practice saying the words to each other. And in the case of in the sexual realm, people get so hung up on talking about sex or in this case not talking about it. These things just don't end up getting discussed, and that's where you run into problems. Is that you're just afraid to say the words or talk about it up front.
Where are you guys? There you are. I lost your screen for a second. I think there was another one that we were talking about too. Because
yeah. What'd you say?
No, it's just I was reading Shane's thing, and it's like, yeah, saying the words is always better than hoping that it all works out. And now that here we are, all of us have had, different experiences, different things going on. There was another post that Zoe had pulled up.
So the question is, this was the post by thick_pineapple_7529 on r/swingers. After many years of pretty vanilla marriage, we both enthusiastically decided that you only live once and that we both wanted to be adventurous and naughty. We both jumped into the lifestyle and are loving every minute of it, and we are so new to this, we both feel we started so late in life that we want to learn the ins and outs of what to look out for as quickly as possible. So the question is, if you could hop in a time machine and chat with your younger newbie swinger self, what advice would you share?
What about you, G?
I'm going last.
Oh, really?
Don't I always go last?
Yeah, but what would I? What about you, Anne? Yeah.
Oh, we got Anne twice.
Anne's got a lot to say.
Anne, you there?
I think I am.
There you are.
There you are. We lost Anne for a minute again.
We did.
And then, so the question, Anne, was if you could go back in time and talk to your younger, quote unquote, lifestyle self, what would be the first or number one piece of advice you'd give yourself?
There's plenty of time.
There's plenty of time.
There's no need to rush anything because there's plenty of time.
No, don't rush.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't rush into things. Okay.
Yeah.
Zoe?
Give me like 2 seconds. Let me write it down.
Oh, they gotta write it down. That's a lot.
Mary Lou.
It's not what you think.
That's not advice.
Well,
What
it is.
advice would you give yourself?
It's not what you think. It's it's harder than you realize. There's so many more dynamics that you haven't thought about that come into play than just going somewhere and being like, meeny, miny, mo. Okay, let's go fuck. That's not how it works.
It does sometimes.
Well, I mean, it can be.
I would agree with that. That's, I mean, definitely. I think people. So if you're watching this for the first time, I wasn't going to break into the ending. If you're watching this for the first time, it's a huge, terrible assumption to think that if you were going to come to or go to attend a club like the Body Shop, and that could be anywhere, is that it's just a big wild sex free for all. It's exactly what you saw on TV or in a movie or whatever. We actually, and you could probably talk about this. We had a new member over the weekend who was scared to death to come to the club. And I'll let Ann pick it up from there.
Yeah, he was really nervous. He had bought a ticket, quite a while back and not come. And then he had a credit, and he decided he was going to brave it. And, it took him a little while to come inside. However,
to attend, to enter the facility.
Yeah. Sorry. Forgot who I was talking to for a second. But he ended up entering the club.
Stop laughing.
You're taking over from here. Don't appreciate your laughter.
You said come inside and enter.
Yeah, no. Anyways, he was a very nice individual.
Aw.
Yeah.
And it sounded like from his newsfeed post that he enjoyed himself.
Yeah.
Yes. The truth of the matter is that they were nervous because they thought it was exactly as we were talking earlier, which is that it was some big, wild, crazy free-for-all like what they've seen in porn or in movies, and they were going to walk in and they were truly not ready for that. Am I right about that? Yes, no?
Yeah.
Maybe so. And if you didn't pick up on this was a single gentleman. People automatically assume that it's the women that are nervous or, the couples that are going in. This was a young, I was going to say virile. I don't know. I was trying to, a younger 35-year-old man who was scared to death to come to the club for those very reasons. And then made a post the next day. I don't know who read it first, because I don't think I saw it first.
I think Teresa and Chelsea read it first.
I think they're.
I was unplugged on Sunday.
Basically suggested that they were glad that they came in. They got to meet some people, have some wonderful conversation, and were completely at ease because it was none of what they thought it was going to be.
More or less. And, their expectations of what, they saw on TV and in movies and so forth was not what they walked into. So for them, they were just as equally shocked and yet surprised and happy that they were sitting at a table just having discussion with somebody about the ins and outs of the club and how the lifestyle works. And in a sense, having that first time moment being an educational you know, uh, realm for them and being okay with that because it wasn't what they thought. Well, and I think if for the little interaction that I myself had with them, I think it was rather liberating. You know, so
Yeah, they were very nice. They seemed to enjoy themselves.
yeah.
I got my little list.
Okay, what's your list, Zoe?
Number 1, people don't know how to read. You could write the exact, down to conversational lines, a 15-page essay of exactly what you want. People who do not fit that will still message you. You don't have to say yes to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to say yes to anyone.
Anyway,
Exactly. A lot of people will think that you go to a nightclub that is a sex vending machine. It is not a sex vending machine. And you don't need liquid or herbal courage. You can't give consent, and it's not that sexy.
that's your
That's what I
list.
would tell myself.
Cool.
That's
Okay,
good
June,
advice.
what's yours?
Mine's actually really simple.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of your head. The stories you tell yourself about all of the concerns, all of the worry, all of the angst about being judged
Mm-hmm.
for the things you want to explore or experience or love,
Yeah.
it's all in your head. And anybody who would judge you for those things is not worth, frankly, in my opinion, knowing or being around or giving the time of day to. And just to sort of plug the club, and it's one of the things, if I was going to say I was proud of anything other than the staff that we have at the club, it is the community of people
Mm-hmm.
that attend the body shop that allow, through the lack of judgment, people to allow them to explore and be themselves and do so joyfully. So yeah, my advice to my younger self would be get out of your head, experience the things you want to experience, and be damned what anybody else thinks.
Good.
That's it. That's all I
Man,
got.
I think that was a good question.
Mhm.
Alexandra, let people think whatever they want. They wish they had my sex life all day.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people do. So one of the actual responses to that question originally uh, on the post was someone who said, all of this is much harder than you realize. Uh,
That
most
is true.
profiles forget that they exist.
Mhm.
You know, uh, those couples that are equally attracted to you as you're attracted to them and are willing to swap are few and far between. There has to be connection. Um, what was it? Oh. People are to remember that people are extremely busy making this a difficult activity at times.
Can I respond to that really quick? That
Yeah.
last one. So I remember not too long ago, and this was a member of the club. So if you join the body shop, we have an online community. Also, it's built into the website, so you get to meet and interact with people online, post pictures, videos, chit chat. But you can also send private messages to each other.
Yeah.
And there was a couple, and they had posted on the news feed, and the news feed is basically like a Facebook feed or a Twitter feed or whatever. And they said they were actually they felt bad because there was a couple that had messaged them on in the internal messaging, and they hadn't been online for quite some time. And when they did finally come back, they saw the message, but the couple had blocked them because they thought they were being ghosted.
Yeah.
And what a ridiculous thing to do, to block somebody because they didn't respond to you in the time frame that you thought they should have responded to. And so the point is that not everybody's sitting online 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, waiting for messages to come in. People have lives, they have kids, they have work, they have problems, they've got issues. The club interacting, this is a bonus for most people. I will say for some people, it's their life. They love this,
Yeah.
and they could never do without. But yeah, that's super important. Just because you didn't get a response doesn't mean it was they ghosted you or, they're ignoring you.
Yeah.
After living life unplugged last week, kind of nice.
Yeah, don't try and message me on Facebook. You will never get a response from me.
This is what life was like in the 90s and 80s. Damn.
It is difficult.
On Facebook, you didn't see me on Facebook.
I have never conceptualized a time without cell phones.
And what did you say?
I said, if anyone sees me on Facebook, you don't see me on Facebook.
Right.
Oh.
Yes, this is that is the one thing. There is a rule, and I was going to say it's an unwritten rule, but it's definitely a rule.
Yeah.
You don't speak about the other people you see in the lifestyle, whether you see them at a club or a party or at a house party or whatever. You don't talk about who you saw and what you saw them doing.
Right.
That's a big no-no.
Yeah, and for me personally, Facebook is where I have my family associations, and it's where I go to disconnect from club life. So
yeah,
anywhere else is fine, but if you see me
Mhm.
on Facebook,
Yeah.
I prefer my privacy there. It's where I keep pictures of my kid and connect with my mom and stuff. So
Yeah. It's funny. I had someone at one time who thought that I was being rude to them because I saw them out while I was shopping. And I saw them. I was like, okay, I took note. I know who this person is. They have other people with them that I do not know. So my go to is always to just, if they pass and we make eye contact, do the typical, like, how you doing? But not say anything, keep moving along. Hey, Um, but in this case, because they were with other people, namely what appeared to be their older children, I didn't even do that because, knowing how teenagers are, they're like, do you know that lady? Where do you know that lady from? Blah, blah, blah. So I just kind of, like I said, kept the move on. So a couple weeks later, they saw me at the club and they're like, I know you saw me at blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, it was good to see you too. And I was like, and I was kind of taken back because they kind of gave me attitude about it. So later on, I was like, is everything okay? Like, I hope me looking in your direction didn't spur a conversation or anything. And they were like, no, it's just, I was expecting you to say hi. And I was like, well, I valued your privacy. And then it was kind of like, oh, then they thought about it. I was like, yeah, she wasn't being rude. She wasn't being, anything. It was just being respectful. So yeah, when you see somebody on Facebook, don't just immediately like click on their profile and try to friend them. You don't know what their family life is like outside. Same thing sometimes when you see people outside of the club. Be respectful.
Speaking of being respectful, I would like to respect our audience's time and begin our sign off because we are 11 minutes past.
Yes.
But we should talk about this coming weekend first.
Okay.
We do actually have, we changed this weekend's event on Friday. I was attempting to try something different, and seemingly it wasn't as well received as had been hoped. So we switched that event to the first time event, which is if you have never been to the club before and you would like to come check it out, it's a night where you can basically purchase your ticket. It'll put you on the guest list. You'll be able to come check out the club, meet some of the staff members. There are going to be a few other current club members to answer questions. You're going to get a full tour, but it's purely a social event. It is a BYOB event. We're changing it up this time around. The first time we didn't allow BYOB. But we're going to allow for the more socializing part of it and people to hang out, but it'll be from 9 to midnight. And so if you are new, it would be a great night for you to come check out the club in literally a zero pressure atmosphere. Not that there would be otherwise, but I think the idea that it's just not possible for there to be naughtiness makes it less anxious for some people. So anyway, that's this Friday, 9 to midnight. Just go to bodyshopclubs.com and then click on that event and you can click buy tickets. You can also just go through the regular application process to become a full member. You're welcome to do that. But this is for those that aren't quite sure and they just want to check it out. So, and then what do we have going on Saturday?
Saturday is PJ's and BJ's Christmas edition. So it's gonna wear y'all's flannel red and black pajamas because that's what everyone wears on Christmas. But yeah, it's our PJs and BJs. I know that I am most excited for the food we're going to be having. That's what I'm really looking forward to.
I'm excited about the BJ's part.
The BJ's part?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, BJ's are my favorite part.
Nice. BJ's are nice.
Summer asked how long it takes to get from the club to Akron. Without knowing specifically where you are, I would say about an hour and a half.
Akron. I've never been to Akron.
Yeah. And Trevor's asking, are these archived? Because they joined late. And yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Looks like you're watching on Facebook, Trevor. Yes, after the live stream is over, you can scroll through. There's also, all of them are on YouTube. It's a lot easier to find them on YouTube than it is on Facebook because you got to scroll and scroll and scroll on Facebook. They're also on Twitter /X and
Discord.
Nope. Twitch. Yes. Twitch. So thanks, Keith. You have a good night too. So yeah, if you are interested in joining a club, you can visit bodyshopclubs.com, click the apply now button, fill out your application, watch your CAP video, which is your consent awareness policies program video, do your age verification, and one of our lovely team members will review your application and approve or decline, or
Before declining, typically,
Send you an email.
you will get an email sent to you regarding further action to get your application approved.
Yes. So check your emails regularly, especially after having applied. If you're not quite sure and you have questions about ethical non-monogamy or kink or relationships, you can visit marylouandyou.com. Click on the book now, and you can set an appointment to speak to a board-certified sexologist who does also happen to be my lovely wife, Mary Lou. I flipped my screen. I almost pointed the wrong way.
You like all touch fingers in the middle.
Yeah, just point in the middle.
Like we're like the Transformers, like,
Yes. Mary Lou does specialize in ethical non-monogamy if you're in a relationship, because most people that work with couples and their relationships are not dealing with the things that we deal with here. So if you need somebody that's a little more specialized, again, marylouandyou.com or enmsexologist.com. Anything else before we go, guys? Everyone's moving their cameras around. Hold on, let me do mine too.
Everyone grab your cameras.
Whee! Woo! Okay.
Crazy camera time. Thanks, Tina. I appreciate that. Listen, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. I know we ran over again, like we do. I think we should just say it's from 8:05 to like 9:30 or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But we kind of run over almost every week.
The conversation's so good, you can't stop it. So
I have to agree. Tonight was actually really good. I'm glad we talked about these subjects. So, and I feel like Anne's staring at me. All right, folks, we're going to get out of here. You have a good night. Thanks for watching. We will see you next week, 8:05 Eastern, Wednesday. I think in the next week or the week after, we're going to have potentially Ricky and Sante on from Buyout Events for the buy event in Vegas, which is May 2nd through the 5th.
yay.
Buyoutvegas.com or buyevents.com. Go get your tickets. All right. Have a good night, folks. Bye.
Certified free, 7 days a week. That wet ass pussy good. My pull-out game weak. Ooh, yeah. I'm fucking with that wet ass. Swimming in it, baby. I'ma bring a bucket and a mop, darling. Give you everything I got. I'm falling. Yeah. I'm fucking with that wet ass. Pussy, beat it up, catch a charge, extra large and extra hard. Put your pussy in my face, swipe my nose like a credit card. I'm on top, you wanna ride, do a giggle while it's inside. Spit in your mouth, girl, while you looking in my eyes. Your pussy is wet, I'ma take a dive, I'ma tie you up like you're a prize. Let's role play, I wear disguise, I'ma park my Mack truck in your garage. Yeah. Fucking with that wet ass, swimming in it, baby. Yeah. I'm fucking with that wet ass, pussy. Gobble me, swallow me, drip it down inside of me. I gotta jump out before it gets inside of you. Tell me where to put it, but don't tell what you about to do. Talk your shit, baby, bite your lip, girl. Ask for a car while you riding that dick. Oh, I'm on top, you wanna ride. Do a giggle while it's inside. Spit in your mouth, girl, while you looking in my eyes. Your pussy is wet, I'ma take a dive. I'ma tie you up like you're a prize. Let's role play, I wear disguise. I'ma park my Mack